Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and a puzzle today called Skyscraper I Love You, and that couldn't be further from the truth. I'm terrified of skyscraper puzzles. It's one of my documented Achilles heels, along with, Fortress, and, well, Knight's Moves from the other day, maybe. Not normally, but there we go. Anyway, we will see how we get on with this. It's a slight twist on the normal skyscraper rule. It's by Bobo, who's featured a couple of times on the channel and is back. Well done, Bobo. Now, don't forget, if you didn't see my Wordle in a minute today, the New York Times, they didn't quite restore my streak. They restored 13 of the missing 15 games off the streak, which has taken it up to, I think it was 244. It's the longest streak I've ever been on, for sure, and they are recognising almost all of it now, which is great. I'm sure if you watch Wordle in a minute, you knew that. If you didn't want to know, so pointless airtime. Now, it is not pointless airtime to tell you that you have just seconds left on the... should I say this? Yes, on the Yin Yang Journey Puzzle Hunt on Patreon. That is by Itch.io. It is great. It's not easy, especially towards the end. So you might be struggling with the end of that now, but do try and finish it off if you want to get in by 4 p.m. tomorrow in time for the prize. And we've got other content on Patreon as well. There'll be another connections video along soon, and there's my crossword video and all sorts of good stuff. As there are in our apps, which they don't feature skyscraper Sudoku, but they do feature all sorts of other types, including Fog of War and the 2 new Sudoku Worms by Marty Sears and James Sinclair, which are excellent. Now, we've also got a bit of merchandise and SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD on links under the video. But the first link is to this puzzle called Skyscraper I Love You. I'm going to go through the rules. I'm not, for once, going to show you the chain bear illustration, because that applies when the skyscraper clues are outside the grid. But today they're in it. So the rules are these. Normal Sudoku rules apply, 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Now, Bobo has expressed this rule really very clearly, but I'm going to kind of do the normal explanation, which is that you have to consider every digit in the final grid as a skyscraper of that height. So if this is a 1 and that's a 2, then the number that goes in this arrow is the number of skyscraper. In fact, I'm going to visualize a 9 there. The number that goes in this arrow is the number of skyscrapers you can see in this direction. And you can see that one. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do, just so we can enter a number here. I'm going to change those. So you can see the 2, but you can't see the 1 because it's hidden beneath the 2. You can only see over buildings to buildings of greater height. So how many can you see? That one, and that one. This would be a 3 in this situation. So these arrows are views within the grid of the number of skyscrapers you can see, treating every digit as a skyscraper. Now, the way Bobo expressed that, which I think is very neat, is that a digit on an arrow indicates the number of visible digits in that direction, and then it defines a visible digit by saying a digit is visible only if it is greater than all digits between it and the arrow. Now, the purport of that is exactly what I just described. So either way, whether you look at it from the vantage point of the rules as expressed by Bobo or from skyscrapers that you've seen before, it'll work out. Now, I don't know how difficult this is. You can check the video length. I only have about 1 hour from now, so we'll see how that goes. I might have to break off if it's a very hard puzzle. Let's get cracking. And as I say, skyscraper's bit of a weakness for me. We've got some diagonals. That's quite strange. Okay, this is where the rule comes into operation, because normally in a skyscraper puzzle with clues outside the grid, you're just looking at verticals and horizontals, and you can't have repeats. But here it's very clear. If all of these were, or if that was a 7 and that was a 7 and that was a 7 and that was a 7, and the other 2 digits in the skyscraper in the diagonal were lower than 7, this would only be a 1. It would only see the first one. So that diagonal points at this diagonal, Is that interesting? Probably not. These diagonals point at each other. These arrows point the same way. This has got to be where to start, I think. Because that could be the same digit as that in that instance of sevens I was talking about. Could it? No, I don't know. I'm going to look at these vertical ones. There's three of them. This is more appealing. Now, what's going on here? Because obviously the numbers can't be the same. So, if this was a 1, okay, first thing I'm going to hypothesize is that there are no 9s in, well, no, I don't even have to hypothesize it. There are no 9s in any arrow cells in this puzzle because no cell within the puzzle can see 9 digits in its direct direction. Do follow along with my nonsense, please. Anyway, so these can't have a 9 in. So there is a 9 somewhere here. 9 is always the end of what you can see in any row, column, or even diagonal. 9 is you're never going to see anything behind a 9. So this is a number from 1 to 6, and I'm just going to think about what happens. If you put a 1 there, that means that the 9 in this group of cells is going to have to come here. That must be. Then this would be a 2 for definite, because it would see that 1 and that 9. And this would be impossible, because it would see that 2 and that 9 and have to be a 2, and that doesn't work. So this is not a 1, but is the lesson I'm learning that these two are always the same? Because then the puzzle won't work. I haven't been told there's any tricks, so I must be misunderstanding the generality of this. Let me think again. Well, I've eliminated 1. I think that was fair. If this is a 2, imagine we're seeing X and then 9 here. This is going to see the 2. Well, it depends what X is. Well, it doesn't, in fact. X has to be more than 2. So I'm imagining this is a 2, and the only digits we're going to see further on after the 2 are X and 9. And whatever else is in the column is hidden. This is going to see 2. It can't fail to see X. X can't be 1 because this would be another 2 then. And it's then going to see 9. So this is 3 and this is 2 and this is X, which is higher than 2, and this is 9. But then we've got the same problem here. We're going to see 3 and X and 9. And we're going to need to put another 3. So I just don't think 2 works, but I don't know how I'm going to come up with a digit that does work. I suppose what I haven't thought about yet is if there's a disparity of more than 1 between these. Oh, this is weird. What is going on? I'm going to try 6 next. What happens if that's a 6? Then we're seeing an ever-increasing string of digits. It's like a thermo down here, up to 9. I don't know what those digits are, but this one is only going to see 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I know that 7 and 8 will be down here because they can't be in these cells if that's a 6. If that's a 6, 7, 8, and 9 are all down here, and you're seeing them in order. So they're in order, 7, 8, 9. So that would be a 4, seeing 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh yes, this would be a 5, seeing 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I found a digit that works. And that is because, well, I don't know if it's because. It may be because there would be a disparity of more than 1 between those. And I don't know what that means quite. I was wondering if it meant that there must be interposed digits here. But it doesn't really. Once you've got 6 there, the only 3 you're ever going to see in this collection from any of these vantage points are 7, 8, 9. So 6 works. Can we rule out 3, 4, and 5 and make it 6? That would be wonderful. This is so confusing. I don't know if this is where I meant to start at all, but it's really got me hooked. If this is a 3, then, you see, we might see 1 or 2 here. Oh yes, hang on. What if that was, what was it, 6, 4, 5? These would be 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. And you are getting interposed cells here, here, and here. Cells that can be seen by the 6, but can't be seen by the other 2. That's where we get the possibility of this working. Right, if this is a 3, we are seeing, the trouble is I don't know if they're digits below 3 first or digits above 3. We're seeing 3 digits till we get to the 9. How many are we seeing from there? I think it's variable. If we start with the 3, I don't know. I don't see that I can rule out. I haven't worked this out at all. We might still have the problem with these 2 cells. So let me think about that. If we get a 3 here, it could, for instance, go 1, 2, 9. And then this cell is only going to see the 3 and the 9. So it would have to be a 2. And this one would only see 2, 3, and 9. I mean, they're all impossible. So how about if it went 3, 1, 5, 9, something lower and something higher? This would then see 3, 5, 9, but that would need to be another 3, so that's not happening. So what if it went 3, 7, 8, 9, and you only see higher ones? This would be a 4 to see 3, 7, 8, 9, and this would have to be a 4 again, seeing 4, 7, 8, 9, and that's where the problem comes. So you couldn't have 1 lower than 3 and 1 higher than 3 and then the 9. You couldn't have 2 higher than 3 and then the 9. So maybe the lesson I learned the first time was right, that there has to be a difference of more than 1 between those to allow a digit in there. In which case, if that's a 3, this has to be at least 5. But how is that going to happen? How did it happen with 6? We saw 6, 7, 8, 9 from the 4. Oh, because the 6 was hiding. From the 6, yeah, the 6 was hiding the 1, 2, 3 that would appear here. That's right. So how does that work with a 3? Can it hide the 1 and 2? Somewhere, and then see 4, 5, or 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. Then this will see 3, 7, 8, 9, and will be a 4. And this will see 4, 7, 8, 9. Right, I don't think 3 works. Because if the 2 digits it sees first before the 9 are both lower than 3, these 2 end up being the same. If you see 1 in the middle and 1 below, these 2 end up being the same. And if you see 2 higher before the 9, these 2 end up being the same. So for some reason 3 just doesn't work. Yeah, it's because 6 allowed this to be 2 lower, but not to be a really low number. So can 4 work? I don't think it possibly can, but let's figure this out. This is so off the scale of what we normally look at. So imagine with the 4 we were seeing 6, 7, 8, 9, all higher than the 4. This would see 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 and would be a 5, but this would see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and would be another 5. So they're not all higher. So the 4 would be hiding. It's got to be a couple of low digits so that that can be 2 different, has it? 4, 1, 7, 8, 9. This would see 4, 7, 8, 9 and would be another 4. Yes, it can't just be hiding 1 digit. It has to hide at least 2 digits, the 4 itself. So let's try 4, 2, 3, 7, 9. then this will see 479 and will be a 3. And that's not enough. You've got to hide 3 digits. Because to get a difference of 2 between those cells, you also need to have this. This counts on that one, so you're going to have to hide 3. Okay, so if this was a 4, we're going to have to hide 1, 2, and 3. But then we won't get a count of 4, will we? Yes, we will. From the 4, we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 9. So then from here, we're seeing 4 and 9. So we're getting a 2. And from here, we're seeing 2, 4, and 9. And we're getting a 3. But we can't put 2 and 3 there because they're hidden digits further down. So 4 doesn't work. And I think 5's not going to work either because we were so far short that time. And I think this is going to have to be a 6. And I think this is the starting point. And it's taken me 12 minutes to get this down to 2 possibilities. Let's see if we can get it down to another the 1. So if this was a 5, we've got to hide at least 2 digits. That's the learning that we've achieved. So let's say we hide, no, we've got to hide at least 3. I made that clear to myself and forgot it last time. We've got to hide at least 3. So 1, 2, 3 there. Then, oh, how are we going to see 5? 1, 2, 3, 7, 9. Then this is seeing 3 because it's seeing 5, 7, 9. And this is seeing 4. Yes, but it can't be 3 there if we're saying we hide 1, 2, 3. So can 5 hide 1, 2, 4 and put a 3 there? And the answer is going to be no, because we have to go up to this cell, and this is going to see 3, 5, 9, and be a 3 again. No, it's going to be, sorry, it's going to see 3, 5, 7, 9. It's going to be the hidden 4. But what I mean is 4 would be one of the hidden digits, and yet that would be 4. So what I'm trying to explain, hopelessly inarticulately, is that if this was a 5, some of the 3 digits, at least, that you'd have to hide here would get replicated in one of these 2 cells. One of them, at least, would get replicated in at least one of those 2 cells, breaking Sudoku rules. And now we have proved, in the most confused manner I can imagine, that that is a 6. I believe that we then know that the digits it sees are 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, so that this, which then sees 6, 7, 8, 9, can score a 4, and that this, which then sees 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, can be a 5. And we get to do the whole central column because of those 3 arrows. And that is, I feel, the starting point. This is so peculiar. Now, this digit can't be anything other than 1 or 2. It can see that 8, and maybe it's going to see a 9. I mean, none of these other arrows are any blooming use. I suppose I can tell that's not a 9 because this arrow would be a 1, and that would clash. This one, okay, this one and this one, let's see what they're doing now. Maybe 1 or 2 cells there. Oh, then they see 7. This digit can't be 8 or 9 now by Sudoku. So that's definitely lower than the 7. So the most this can be is a 4. If it saw something there, something higher there, then 7, and then 8 specifically down here. 4 is the max there. So that's 2, 3, or 4. I guess this is, I'm saying that because it can't be 1. This must see that digit. Well, it's got to see something here which, oh no, it could be another 4. It's then going to see the 7, and if we're, well, we don't postulate an 8 there anymore. I mean, I'm going to put 2, 3, 4, or 5 there, and I don't think this is the point. That one, this one. The closer an arrow is in the direction it's pointing to its end gives it the fewest number of possible digits. I mean, this was only seeing 5 digits, so we've only actually eliminated 1 from the max. So this one, this one's good. This is 4 or 5 because it can only look at those cells. And in its box, we've used 1, 2, 3. Now, if that was a 5, Oh, these would have to be 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, because these digits would have to not be 1, 2, or 3, but they're going to have to not obstruct the view of anything up here. So if that's a 5, this is a 4. So one of these two cells is a 4. If this is a 4, oh, well, hang on, 7, 8, 9 have to appear in these bits of the column. So, I want to say that it sees 5 or 6 in this box, but it might see both. Ah, I wanted more than that. Anyway, this is 4 or 5, and this is on this arrow path that we were looking at. So what's that doing? How could this be a number that then, I suppose this could be a 1. It sees that, and then a 4 or a 5, then a 7, and then maybe an 8 at the end. I thought that was going to do something. Right, let's just have another think about, if this is 5, we know everything that's going on. It must go 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up. Oh, what would that do? That would give us roping. We'd have 7, 8, 9 here, 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3 here, and that breaks this cell. Yes. This is not a 5, because the way that the structure of the column works, it would have to go 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we'd have 1, 2, 3 here looking at that cell. There we go, that's a 4. Now, it's going to see at least one of 5 or 6 here. It can't see 5 or 6 up here, and it must see one of them in its... It must see one of these cells, and they can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now, we have to avoid this roping. It can't see 7, 8, 9 here. Right, imagine it saw only one of those digits. Then it would have to see 7, 8, and 9. That would give us 1, 2, 3 here, breaking this cell. So, it's got to see both of these cells. These must be increasing. And I think they must be using, well, no, I don't know. They must be increasing. This is 5 or 6. This is 6 or 7. I'm trying to leave room to see 2 more buildings, 2 more skyscrapers as we go up. Now, there is a 4 in one of those cells by Sudoku. There is a 1 or a 2 in one of these cells up at the top here, and that's the hidden building. So, that's really... Oh, but we've got to use up 7, 8, 9 in this group of cells. Does this have to be a 7 now? We can't put the 7... Well, we can't put all of 7, 8, 9 up here. If we were to put 7 there... If we weren't to put 7 there, if we were to put 7 in one of these cells, would it be hidden? No, not necessarily, because that could be the 1 or 2. And then we could see 5, 6, 7, and 8 or 9 here. Oh, it's so confusing, this. There's a hidden 1 or 2 up here, and 2 big skyscrapers that we're going to see. 3 is not going to be in that group because that doesn't count in either of those categories. So 3's down here somewhere. Do I know what this 1 or 2 is? Nothing has changed there. Do I know about this 2, 3, or 4? No. These include 8 and 9. So these include 8 and 9. And that doesn't mean they're the ones that... Well, 9 is obviously going to be seen. But 8 might be hidden behind 9. No, that 8 can't be hidden behind 9 because the hidden digit up here is 1 or 2, and it's the only hidden one that the 4 is looking at towards. So 8 can't be hidden as well. So 8 is not hidden behind 9. So that's not 8, and this isn't 9. So this is 1, 2, or 8. This is 1, 2, 8, or 9. And this is 1, 2, or 9. And 7 is now over this side somehow. And now this is the only place 7 can go. So this 4 is going to see that digit, 5 or 6, followed by a 7 there, an 8 in one of those cells, and a 9 in one of those. And that's going to account for its 4. I should really orange off cells that I've understood how they work. Gosh. Now, if that's an 8, this digit is 1 or 2 again, just like that one. But if it's a 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the max. This is going to see a 6 quite quickly. I don't know, that doesn't limit it much, does it? Oh, this one is very limited. Oh, no, it's not. If that was 8 or 9, it's very limited. Oh, this is interesting, though, because we're not putting a 1 in this cell, obviously, by Sudoku. So that's not a 9. I said that earlier, I forgot it. Now, what else could this... Wow, this is not a 1, so it's definitely a higher number. So it's still looking when we get to there. That must be hidden. It's not going to see that. It's going to see this. It's going to see the 7. And then it might see an 8 and a 9 there. The maximum that can be is 4. It might not see the 7 if that's an 8 or a 9. Oh, okay. I don't know. But at least I do know that it's 2, 3, or 4. I find this really, really hard. I mean, harder than even the normal sort of skyscraper puzzle. What should I be looking at next? Okay, let's have a look in this row. I don't know, this is madness, but all I was going to point out is the 3 and the 4 will be hidden because these can't all be lower. One of them must be higher than the 3 or the 4. I mean, it's not that interesting. The maximum that can be is a 6. No, but it can't be 3 or 4 by Sudoku, so 1, 2, 5 or 6. Now, I mean, this is, I can't just pencil mark these arrow cells and expect them to make sense to me, I'm afraid. I've got to actually think of something to do in the puzzle that is better. These are from 5, 6, 8, 9, and that one's not 9. Oh, well, that's getting quite interesting. For this to be a 4, that would be 5 or 6 making a pair. This would be 8, and that would be 9. That would be really, really helpful. It's much more likely that this is an 8. Well, that could then be 2 or 3. Depends whether 9 is over this side or over this side and not being looked at. This is the trouble with putting arrows in the box, is sometimes they don't see all the digits in the row, including themselves. Wow. So this digit, how could this be 5? 1, or maybe even 2. 1, 5. Well, it can't see both of those. It would have to see all of these. And by the time it got here, this would be at least a 7, but that is not looking at 7 cells. It's only looking at 6. So this can't be a 5. So we're down to 1, 2, or 3. If that digit is an 8, this is not 3. These are the 2 arrows that are looking at each other. That's why I'm spending a little bit of time here to try and figure out whether there is some power of them both looking at each other. It feels like one of them has to be very low. I mean, if this is high-ish, then we've got to see a decent sized digit there and maybe a bigger one here. And then that isn't going to see any of these or that one. Well, this is already not going to see those 2 cells. So the most this can be is 4 now, which is actually quite limited already. And between these 2, They probably can't add up to more than about 5 between them, but I mean, I'm slightly speculating. Well, yeah, this one is never going to see this digit now, or that digit. So its max is 4, and I've already ruled it down to no more. Well, it can't be a 4. Okay, that's probably why I've done that. Is it worth thinking about this one? One of these is a 4. If it was there, I don't know, it doesn't tie this one down much. Okay, this can only see a maximum 5 cells. So it's 1, 2 or 5 because it's seeing a 3, 4 pair. Now, if that was a 5, it would have to see this cell. It would have to see all of these cells. So maybe 1, 2, 3 or 4 there. Well, 1 here, 2 or 3 here, 3 or 4 here, 5 or 6 here. So I was trying to rule out this being a 5 and make it a 1 or a 2, but I've signally failed to achieve that. And I really am getting very confused as to where I can turn for information in the puzzle. There's just very little going on. 9, 8, 7, 4, 3. So only one digit out of 1, 2 is there. So these are made up of 3, 7 and either 1 or 2. And one of the, well, the one that is low there is here. But the 5 or 6 that is there is in one of these cells. Okay, so those are made up of 4, 5 or 6. And now this one is pointing at that. And that is hidden. And that is probably hidden. Just to complete my pencil marks. That is seeing the 8. It's definitely not seeing that. It all depends on whether there's a 9 here, if that's a 2. Okay, this one is looking at that cell and not that one. It's got a maximum of 5. I said I wouldn't pencil mark all these arrows, and it looks like I'm ending up doing it. That's because I'm useless. Oh, wow, this is just crazy. We're halfway through that hour already. I can't believe this. I still know so little about how the puzzle works. Oh, I feel utterly, utterly inadequate. Right, if that's a 2, I don't know. It could see a 5 or 6 there and the 7 there if you hide 8 and 9 here. Alternatively, this could be a 3 and you could see that cell and one of 8 or 9. Or it could be a 4 and you could see that cell and both of 8 or 9. And this looks like the most helpful place we've bloomin' got. Okay, yes, I haven't considered these two enough. So this is 2, 3 or 4. How can that be? I suppose this isn't a 9. It's going to see this digit, and then it's going to see something. Oh, look, this could still be 8, but that's the only way I think I've observed that before. This is going to see this cell, and maybe 4 and 7, and then maybe this cell. And if it did that, if this was a 4, it would see that cell, it would see 4, it would see 7, and it would see that cell. This one would see the 4, and then neither of these, and 7 and that cell. This would be a 3. If that's a 4, this is a 3. If this is a 3, green could be lower than 4, and and then these will both be not higher than 7. Or green could be 5 or 6. And then this would have to be 8 after the 7. That's about the only option. If this was 2, this couldn't be 8 still. This is never 9 or 8 or 2 by Sudoku. I don't know what, I mean, what useless pencil marking that is. It's so difficult to get a purchase here. Okay, let's go back to this arrow. Oh no, what I was trying to think about was what happens here. If that was a 4, this was going to be 3. If this is a 3, then we see this. Well, if it went 1, 4, 7, this one would see 3, 4, 7 and nothing else, and would be another 3. If it went 5, 7, 8, this would see 3, 5, 7, 8. So this could be 3 or 4 in that circumstance. And if this is a 2, that's the thing I didn't consider yet, then we're either seeing 4, 5 or 6 here and nothing higher there, and this would be a 3, or we're seeing 7 here, and that's an 8. In which case this is 3 again. So if that's 2, this is 3. If this is 3, I don't think this is ever 2 now. If it's 4, we're seeing 3 or 4 here. If it's 3, we're seeing 3 or 4 here. And if it's 2, we're seeing 3 or 4 here. Is this always 3 or 4? I think it is, you know. I think it is. It's always 3 or 4. That's such a weird bit of Sudoku or whatever it is that we're doing now. Now, that's reasonably important. I want to stop this being a 5, but I haven't done that at all. 1, 2, 3 or 4. No, haven't achieved it. Oh, mind-blowingly annoying. There's no other rules. I haven't missed any rules. There aren't any. There aren't any. Be assured. There's no other rules. Okay, 8 or 9. 8 and 9 have to be in these cells. So some of these arrows are going to see them. If that is 8 or 9, this has to be 2. If that is 8 or 9, this has to be 3. Not quite. If it saw a 9 there first, then it could be 1. That's annoying. That would, so if that's 8 or 9, that's a 2. If that's 8 or 9, that's 1 or 3. If that's 8 or 9, since this can't be 3 or 4, it is 1 or 2. So something here is very low. 1 or 3, 1 or 2, and 2 of these, because 2 of these are 8 or 9. So 2 of these are from 1, 2, 3. How do I use that information? Please tell me now. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. Head gradually melting. And that's not just in the heat. That is because this is really, really hard, I think. Bobo's done it to me. Whoa, where can we go? Where can we go from here? These arrows just aren't close enough to each other. I mean, this was a lovely start. I just wish I could have developed it somehow. This one. 1, 2, 3. I mean, it can't be more than 5, but that's really not worth pencil marking. This one probably could be. Wouldn't it be really helpful to get another 6 or 7 in an arrow? Or for that to be 5. Okay, for that to be 5, what would happen up here? 1 definitely there. That would mean, oh, this would only be a 3 if that had to be 8 or 9, and that would be 8 then. And then this couldn't be 8, that would be 9. I'm sorry, I cannot work out exactly what is happening. These arrows are just not pointing to the places I need them to point to. It's a sad complaint, isn't it? I must be really missing something quite big here. So let's try these again. For that to be a 2, 7 there and 8 there, and then this would be a 3. Okay, for this to be a 4, doesn't this have to be a 4 as well? And is that a circumstance that we can trade off? If that was a 4, it's going to see this one. Yeah, I think if that's a 4, that's a 4 too. No, it's possible for this to be a 3 and that to be a 4. Oh, this is useless. My thinking is what is useless here. I just cannot see where the next information comes from. There is some information to be gained and I can't find it. For that to be 8, this will be 1 or 2. That doesn't stop this being 1 or 2 because they could be one of each. This would be restricted to 3 or 4, I think. It's not quite true. There's still a way it could be 5. Okay, let's have a think about this being 8. That would have to be 2, and 9 would be in one of these cells. And that would be 8. So 9 would be in one of these cells. It couldn't actually be there. That's quite interesting. If this was 8, 9 would have to be here because otherwise that would be a 2 and that would have to be a 2 as well. So if that's an 8, that's a 9. And then this digit, oh, that's impossible as well. This couldn't be 1 or 2. Oh my goodness, I've got it. Stumbled on it 10 minutes after the last move. Right, this can't be 8. Because that would have to be 2. It's not allowed to be 1. And whichever one of these was seeing a 9 there couldn't be a 1 because it's going to see something before it. But wouldn't be allowed to be a 2 anymore. And this one's been pencil marked, so it could only be 1 or 2 if that's a 9. Right, that is not an 8. There we go. Wow, why have I marked it yellow? Because we're looking at it from here. So now this digit is seeing, well, I still don't know whether that's a 2. Although maybe I do, because this is an 8-9 pair now. And that is going to be, it's not allowed to be 2. It's going, oh, it still could be a 1 if that was a 9. But otherwise it's going to see, well, that's really interesting. This is always an 8. If that's a 1, it has to see this before it sees that. So this is 9 and that's 8. If that's a 3, it has to see this cell, then 2 more, so that's going to have to be 8 again. So that's 8, that's 9. This can't be 5 or 6 anymore, and it can't be 1 because it must see this cell, so that's a 2. This is now not 2. So we are going to see 8 or 9 at least, or both of them in these cells. This one, well, I don't know, it's 1 or 3, but 2 is there, and this is not 2 now. Now, is there something that stopped this being 5? 5 required a 1 here, and that requires a 3 there, and that requires a 9 here, and that's going to put a 2 here. This, well, I mean, I've got a little thermo here. This digit is bigger than that, so that this one only sees 2. That's a very uninteresting bit of information. If that's a 1, this is a 9. Okay, let's think about this being a 4. Then we would have 8 and 9 here. And then we wouldn't have 9 in these cells, so this could only be a 1, and 9 would have to be here. So if that's a 4, it's above a 9, which is quite interesting, and that's a 1. 4, 9, 1. Well, it was a bit interesting, and then it stopped being interesting when I couldn't get anything from it. Come on. This is 3 or 4. It's seeing that. I can make this yellow now. It's another digit it's seeing. And then it's got to see at least one of these. If it's a 4, that's 8 and that's 9. And this couldn't be 1 or 5 if that was 9. So that is not a 4. Perfect. That's a 3. This is now 1, and that must see a 9 before the 8. This is now not 1. We've also got a 9 in one of those 2 cells, and that is going to be the higher digit that that is seeing. This, okay. Fine. I can't say I've done that. I have done this digit. This one I haven't done till I've got that digit to be higher than that. What can they be? They're from 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, what about this baby? This can't be a 5 anymore, because that can't be 1 or 2. That would be at least 3 or 4, and then this is going to be hidden. So that is definitely a 1. I mean, I'm so excited. Oh, well, no, this can't be a 9 now, because you would see that and then the 9. So the 9 is here, and this orange 3 is done. It sees the 5 or 6, then the 7, then the 9. And these are from 5, 6, 7, 8 in this row as well, by Sudoku, by elimination. This can't be a 3 anymore, and that's quite interesting. Now, if it's a 2, we decided that this was 4, 5, or 6, and this was not 8, or that this was 7 and this was 8. But we also decided that would mean if this was a 2, this digit will see the 2, and then whichever 2 the 2 sees. So that would always be a 3. If this is a 4, we've got to see 3, 4, 7, 8. That's what it would have to be. If that's a 4, we're seeing 3, 4, 7, 8. And this one would be seeing 4, 7, 8, and would be a 3. This is always a 3, whether this is a 2 or a 4. That is absolutely the most peculiar conclusion I've reached yet, out of a whole bunch of candidates that are peculiar. Whether that's a 2 or a 4, this always ends up being a 3. It's so strange, but it just happened. Now, 3 is in one of those 2 cells in the box. That's not how I'm meant to be pencil marking that, like that. Now, come on, why don't I know if this is 2 or 4? I now know this is 3. And we're either going 4, 7... Oh, no, I don't know. I don't know what this is. That's not a 3 now, and that's quite interesting. Oh, look, we've hit an 8 in this row, in this diagonal. This diagonal. We're never going to see those cells. We're only going to see that if it's a 9. For this to be a 1, that has to be an 8. It couldn't be 1 or 2. For this to be a 2, there's more fluidity here. Quite a lot of it depends on whether this is going to be a 9. A 9 is confined to one of those cells. Oh, this can't be 1 anymore. That's Sudoku. This can't be 3. Now, this can't be 1. It's got to see at least 2 cells going this way. And it is going to see at least 2. It's going to see that. And it might see a 9. So it's 2 or 3 now. And if it was 3, that's a 9, which is weird way the whole puzzle works. If this is a 1, that's an 8, and this is not a 9. It's just not enough information again. Oh, gosh. Okay, what about this? This can't be 5 because it's going to come up against it. In fact, it's going to see that, not that, maybe that, and definitely that. This is now 2 or 3, but 3 is not an option. So this is 2, and that digit is at least as high as that one. So this is not a 4, and now we've placed 4 in the box. This one, I mean, by Sudoku actually, they're the same because they're both different from that. And that's become a 3 now. So we're going to see that digit, then 8, then we are going to have to see 9, and I've placed 9. Now I can place 9 in box 2, there, and that has to come after 8, looking up column 4. Ho ho, so now this, well, it could still be a 2 if we're going to stick a 9 here. Let's just look at 9s for a second. That's not a 9, that's not a 9, we've got a 9 there. Now we can't have a 9 here, and therefore this one is a 1. I mean, this puzzle is, the interactions in this are mind-blowingly insane. I love it, but it also hurts. One of those 2 digits is a 2 by Sudoku. Now, what's this arrow? Oh, this one's done, basically. We're going to see that, 8 and 9. This one is done because those are the same, and then we're going to see 9. This one, oh, we're not going to see 9 in those cells because we've placed it in the box. So that's a 1. Ah, and that's going to place 1 in box 2. I can get rid of 1 from those cells. Right. I'm not going to change the other pencil marks. That 2's done. This 2, it's nearly done, but I'm not ticking it off. Now, it was this one I was looking at. If that's a 7, this is definitely a 3, and it's not allowed to be a 3. If the reason it's definitely a 3 is it would see that digit, which is not 6, 7, 8, or 9, then 7, then 8, and then no 9. So that is not a 7, that is a 2. Just wondering about taking out these corner marks. Now I can do it. Now, this one, if this is a 1, then that's a 4, which is possible. If this is not a 1, it's 4, 5, or 7. If it's 4 or 5, that would be a 3. That's not allowed. But if it's 7, this would be a 2. So this is now 2 or 4. And annoyingly, oh no, it can't be a 2. We've had a 2 in the row. Yeah, that's a 4. And this is low. This is 1. Okay, that is not maddening. That is delighting. Delightful, thrilling, and wonderful. 57319. I've still got 10 minutes to finish before I have to go pick up my son. Oh, I did not think this was going to take this long. Oh, look. This can't be 1, 4, or 2. I don't think it can be 5 because that digit would be hidden. These can't all be lower than 4. So the 4 is going to be hidden. So this is going to be a 3. And that at least does the Sudoku here, 7 and 3. We're going to see this digit and 7 and 9. Well, or maybe an 8 here. This digit is not 8. It's also not 19473, so it's 2, 5 or 6. How are 3s doing in this puzzle? Pretty nicely. That's not a 3 anymore. Oh, it's so nice to be able to look at new arrows and actually see things going on there. That 1 is done basically because it's only going to see 8. It's never going to see a 9 on its diagonal. Now this thing, it's not allowed to be 2 or 1 or 4. So that is a 3 because it's going to reach the 9. That's going to finish off all our 3s. And in fact, yes, there's another one in this box. If I just allow myself to see it, that's a 3 now. Right, this is going to see that, then one of these, then the 9. Seems much more likely to be that digit it's going to see, but I don't really have a lot of agency over that. Okay, that digit is 2 or 4. Can it be 4 anymore? I think the answer is no, because this is now not able to be seen. That is preventing this being seen. Now this can't be 1, 2 or 3. That has to be a 2. We're going to see that one. If it's a 7, that's going to be 8. If it's not a 7, that's not going to be 8. Well, that's one of these utterly weird relationships that keeps happening in this puzzle. That is not a 2 now. This 3 is going to see the 2 and whatever things the 2 is seeing. And I don't think that lets me finish that off either. There's probably going to be some horrible, intricate Sudoku still to come. I'm going to have to do shortly rather than immediately. Let's see. Let's see if I can finish. That can't be a 2. We've suddenly placed 2 in this box. I've got these 5 6s that I could colour if I thought it would do anything. I don't yet. There's a 2 in one of those cells. 4, 9, 3. There's a 2 in one of those 2. Now, that almost doesn't allow this to be a 2, but it does if that became an 8. Right. This doesn't allow this to be a 2 because one of these 2 is a 5. I've only just discovered this, but it's true. If this was a 2, that would be a 5, and this would see 4 cells. So this is not a 2. This is where 2 goes in box 3. This is where 2 goes in box 1. This is where 2 goes in box 7. That's all the 2s. They're all done. This is seeing that digit, probably that one, but it could be an 8 here instead. One of these is 5. These are from 5, 6, 8. Actually, the possibilities are narrowing quite considerably. These are from 4, 6, 8, because that's all that's left up here. Now, let's look up here again. This 3, oh no, this 1. No, everything is going to be hidden behind this, including whatever that is. This one is 4, 5, 6 or 7. So there's no 8 in these cells. And therefore, 8 is in one of these 2 in this row. And that means this isn't 8. And that means this isn't 7 because it's hidden. Now, that can't be 4. I don't think it can be 5 either because one of these would be higher than 5. So that is 6 or 7. Oh, goodness. I want to know what that, if that was a 4, that would be helpful. 9, 2, 3. We've got 4 to put in one of those 2 cells in this row column. Column is what I mean this time. Little X-wing on 4s. Now, I've been ticking off my arrows fairly assiduously. That one is done because this is not able to be any of the digits that could be seen. This one, if that was 6, this would be 5 and 4, and we'd have 7, 8, 9 down here. I've got this. That would love this to be 8 because that would fulfill it. This can't be 8 because the 3 wouldn't work. So this is 4, 5 or 6. Now we're definitely going to see, well, we knew we were going to see one of these. The only thing that you can't now do here is go low or have a third running up 4, 5, 6. Hang on, why am I allowing a 4 to be there when I said in this column 4 has to be down here? That's not 4. That is 5 or 6. Okay, now I am going to colour 5s and 6s against each other in blue and yellow, just for the fun of it. Yeah, look! Now this can't be 5 or 6 because it sees both colours. Good timing, good timing. Now, if this was 4, we're seeing that, then that, then that. If this was 7, that's a 5, that's a 6. This couldn't be 8. And couldn't exist. If this was a 7, that's a 5, that's a 6. Oh no, 6, 8, 9 would work. Okay, I'm wrong. Worth the check there, definitely. That is 4, 5, 6 or 7. 2, 9, 1, 7, 3. This is 5, 6 or 8 by Sudoku. Nothing else is applying. 4 is in one of those 2 cells. Now, this 1, this has to be lower than that. So it's 4, 5 or 6. So 8 is definitely in one of these 2 cells. Is that of any power or interest? 8 is also in one of these 2 in column 1. Don't know where 7 is, but not in those cells by Sudoku. Oh, I've only got, oh no, I've got this 4. That's resolved. Doesn't matter what this is. This one, it still depends. If that's a 4, that's not 8. But if that's a 7, that is 8. And I think this one is going to fall in line with whatever is happening in the 2 columns. So we've just got that where this is higher. This is blue or yellow, I suppose, but I don't know which. There is a blue 5 or 6. Oh, we've had a 5, 6 pair in this row. So that is 4 or 8. 5, 6, 2, 7, 3. That is 8 or 9. It can't be 4 because we've confined 4 in the box. I've only got one place for 9 in this row. I mean, that's bizarre. I wasn't seeing that happening till I did the full pencil marking, but there you go. Now I've only got one place for 8 in this box, and that's there. That can't be 8 anymore. Has this affected any of my other things? This can't be 4, so 4's definitely somewhere in column 1. Knowledge bomb there. That is 5, 6 or 7. Ah, look, I've got 5, 6, 7, 8 quad, so it's 9 again here. Is that the last 9 in the grid? I think it is. This is 5, 6 or 7 by Sudoku. One of these is a 1, he said, as though it was a thrilling bit of information. I'm left on an X-wing of 1s, basically. Okay, that 3, can we not sort that out now? Yes, look, that's a 5, 6, 7 triple, and that's an 8. I mean, that's not what I was asking, but anyway, it's true. This 3 is resolved, I've oranged it. This one is not, which is weird. Even with 5 or 6 there and 9 there, we're just going to see one of these. Right, the only way to see that building is if it's a 7 and this is hidden. So it would go 6, 5, 7. But the other way is not to see this building, in which case it's a 4 and that's a 4 and that's a 4 and nothing else interesting is happening as a result of that. One of these is 8. We know that. One of these is 8. Oh, there is definitely a 4 and 1. No, that's not interesting. It's got to be one of these remaining skyscraper clues, but I've oranged off. Those two are going to resolve. Oh, this can't be 8 anymore. There we go. So that can't allow a 7 here. And that must be 4. Oh, that's going to do it. That's going to place 4 in box 1. That's going to remove some possible 4s around the grid. I don't know if that's going to do it. These I can now orange at least because they're not going to hit an 8 here. That is the point. This one is, the 4 is hidden. So we've got to see that, then that. So this is not 5. It just has to be bigger than this. Oh, don't tell me I can't actually resolve anything from that. It's so painful. One of these is a 5. These are from 6, 7, 8. Maybe some Sudoku God will smile on me. 8, 2, 3, 9, 1. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7 to place in the bottom row. 3, 1, 5, 6, 7 in these cells. There's a full pencil marking, and this is where I need that Sudoku God to tell me something very, very, very interesting that I haven't noticed. This is basically done because that can't be lower than that. This is basically done because that can't be lower than that. That's the annoying thing, is I've now oranged. Oh, I haven't oranged this one, but it is similarly. That can't be lower than that. So I've oranged all the arrows. Oh, not this one. Okay, not this one. So now I can't put 5 there? No, I can. I can't put 5 here? Yes, I can. I can't put 6 here. Is that the only conclusion I can draw here? Because that's awful. That's nothing. That's just not telling me anything. If I was to put 6 there, that would be a 5, and this would see 5, 6, 7, 9. So that's not a 6. If it's 8, that's 5. If it's 5, that's 6. I don't see how that helps me. Oh my goodness, we're not finished. I can't believe this. I was meant to go 3 minutes ago, but I really, really, really want to finish this. One of those is a 4. What have I mispencil marked now? Something. Or maybe there's a new X-wing, or maybe my colouring would do something. Oh, that's yellow. This sees yellow and blue, so it can't be 6. This sees yellow and blue, so it can't be 5 or 6. There we go. Colouring again. 6, 5. 5 is yellow. 6 is blue. Lovely, lovely colouring. Please tell me you're going to do the business colouring. Yes, that 6 is looking up to the top. That's 8, 6, 5, 8. And this 3 is fulfilled. The last arrow clue needing fulfillment is achieved. This can't be 5. This column must be done. Yes, 7. Oops, I'm still in the colour mode. 7 and 5. 7 there. This is an 8. These are done. 6, 5, 7. We go up to the corner. 6, 7, 4. I mean, literally, you can write below in the comments that, goodness me, Mark was missing something for the longest time, and I'm just going to ignore it and not believe it, because I think this is just rock hard. And I am thrilled to have finished. There we go. 30,000 feet above the earth. It's a beautiful thing. Skyscraper, I love you, said Bobo. Skyscraper, I finally got to the top, is all I can say. What a clever puzzle. Thank you so much for watching with me. I've got to go. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.